Madam, your husband.
Shh, he won't know. He's always busy, always working, always leaving me alone in this big empty house. Don't hold back. Make me feel like a woman again.
Three children, Beauty! 3 children!
Chidi, stop this now!
Why, Beauty? 3 children and not one is mine! Chidi, stop! Let her go!
I built everything for 3 children that are not mine.
No, please, sir, stop me, sir! Help me!
Who is their father, Beauty?
Who is their father, you prostitute? Who is their father?
Beauty Okoro never wanted to marry. Not at 20, not at 21, not even when her friends flooded Instagram with wedding pictures screaming God did it. Beauty scrolled past without a flicker of longing. She graduated from the University of Science and Technology Enugu at 23 with a first class in accounting and walked across that stage knowing exactly where she was going. Lagos, a career, independence that answered to nobody. Mama, I am not ready, she told her mother every time marriage came up. Ready? Her mother hissed. Beauty, ripe fruit does not wait forever. When the flies meet it rotting, crying cannot bring back the sweetness. Then she met Chidi Eze at a birthday party in Enugu. Every man in the room noticed Beauty when she walked in. Every man except one. Chidi sat at a corner table, jacket folded beside him, focused on his phone with the quiet energy of a man who had somewhere important to be. He did not look up when she entered. That single unbothered quality made Beauty walk towards him. They talked 4 hours straight. He challenged her twice, made her laugh 3 times, and carried a calm confidence that needed no announcement. By the time the party ended, Beauty realized she had not checked her phone once all evening. Within 6 months, Chidi was kneeling in her father's sitting room in Ogui with a modest ring and 7 words, "I want to grow old with you." She said yes. And for a while, for a genuine, beautiful while, she was truly happy. Their first home was a modest flat in Auka. Chidi worked long hours. Beauty got a junior accounting role nearby. They were not rich, but they were building together. Tobe Okuchu arrived 14 months in. Chidi wept openly in the delivery room, holding that baby with trembling hands. Thank you, God. Thank you. Beauty watched him and felt something between love and a guilt she could not yet name. She pushed it away. Ada Eze came, then little Emeka. 3 children in 5 years, bigger apartment in any BGRE, a car, a house girl. By every visible measure, Beauty had the life women prayed for. Mama Chidi came for the naming ceremony. On the second day, she sat in Beauty's kitchen and watched her carefully. A man who works hard needs a home that is warm and faithful, not a wife whose eyes are searching outside her own walls. Beauty turned slowly. Mama, I don't understand. I think you understand very well, my daughter. At the car door 3 days later, she spoke loud enough for Beauty to hear. Chidi, my son, learn what is inside your own house before you keep building houses for other people. Chidi laughed. Mama, you worry too much. Mama Chidi looked past her son directly at Beauty. Beauty looked back steadily. Neither of them smiled. Chidi's work consumed everything. He left before 6, returned after 9, weekends vanished into site visits and client calls. Chidi, can we talk? Not tonight, early morning tomorrow. You promised Saturday. Something came up. Next week. Next week became next month. Next month became next year. Beauty, beautiful, restless, attention-hungry Beauty, began feeling her elegant home closing around her like a very comfortable prison. She was 26, stunning. She had needs her husband was too exhausted to remember. Daniel Obi had been their driver for 8 months, always present, always available, always looking at her with eyes that said everything Chidi had stopped saying. It started with conversation. It always starts with conversation. Daniel was not Chidi's Ecole in any measurable way. WAEC certificate, a laugh that filled whatever room it entered. But Daniel had time and attention, and he was there. Madam, you look beautiful today. Every morning at the car door. Small thing. Then one afternoon, she came downstairs in a new dress, and Daniel stopped walking completely. He looked at her the way Chidi used to. Madam, your husband is a very lucky man. 3 weeks later, children at school, house girl on errands, Daniel came about the car fuel and ended up in the sitting room, then closer. The first time it happened, Beauty told herself it would never happen again. The second time, she stopped telling herself anything. For 7 months, Beauty lived 2 lives: the devoted wife, the attentive mother, the elegant churchwoman every Sunday, and the woman betraying her husband inside his own house. Ngozi suspected. She had seen enough. She asked once, Ngozi, are you okay? Really okay? Beauty said, Ngozi, I am perfectly fine. Mind your business. So Ngozi swallowed it, said nothing, carried the weight like a stone growing heavier every week. Then Chidi got promoted, senior project manager. He came home one Friday before 8, carrying slightly squashed flowers. Beauty, I know I have not been present, but things are going to change, I promise. Standing in his arms, she felt the full crushing weight of what she had been doing. Stop it. End it with Daniel. Save your family. She made that promise. She broke it 4 days later.
It was Tobechukwu who ended everything. 7 years old, sharp, observant. He said it at the dinner table while Chidi was serving rice. Daddy, why does Uncle Daniel come inside the house when you are not here? The serving spoon stopped. Uncle Daniel? He comes inside and watches TV with Mommy. And one time I came downstairs and Mommy's door was closed and I knocked and, Toby, go to your room, Beauty said. Voice absolutely steady, terrifyingly steady. Chidi put the spoon down, looked at Beauty across the table. What is Toby talking about? He is a child, Chidi. Children say, what is Toby talking about? Silence. She looked away first. That night, Chidi spoke in a voice so controlled it was more frightening than any shouting. Tell me the truth, Beauty. All of it. She denied everything, thoroughly, convincingly. Chidi watched her perform the denial, then stood, went to bed and slept. He fired Daniel the next morning. 1 month extra pay, no explanation. Daniel glanced once at the upstairs window where Beauty watched from behind the curtain and drove away. But Chidi had not forgotten. He went quiet and began to count backwards. He was an engineer. His profession was built on catching errors before they became catastrophes. Tobechukwu, born 14 months into the marriage. He opened his calendar. Adeze, he counted back from her birth date. Little Emeka, he counted again. He sat with those numbers for 3 weeks, then booked a private DNA clinic in Abuja far enough that nobody would know him. He told Beauty it was a routine family health screening. She dressed the children beautifully, made conversation the whole 3-hour drive about school, church, whether to repaint the sitting room. Chidi drove, said very little, watched the road. 10 days later, the results arrived. Chidi ran them once, closed the laptop, sat completely still for 47 minutes. He called Dr. Okafor, family friend and physician, and asked him to be present. He needed a witness, a professional close by, because he already knew what he was capable of when his control gave out. He told Beauty they had a follow-up appointment Friday. Routine, nothing to worry about. Beauty ironed her blue dress that night, slept soundly. The sleep of someone who does not know tomorrow is the last day of the life they currently know. Dr. Okafor received them calmly. 2 minutes of small talk. Then he looked at Chidi and gave a single slow nod. Chidi turned to Beauty in that corridor, Dr. Okafor already standing close. And what happened next, you have already witnessed. The explosion, the strikes, the grabbing,
the corridor frozen. Who is their father? And Beauty, pressed against that wall, mascara destroyed, lips split, genuinely terrified, finally spoke the name she had protected for 7 months. Daniel, she whispered. It was Daniel, the driver, only Daniel. I swear, Chidi, only Daniel. The sound Chidi made was not a word, something from beneath language, the sound of a man's entire world collapsing at once. Dr. Okafor wrapped both arms around Chidi and walked him out into the afternoon sun. Chidi stood in the car park with both hands on the roof of a stranger's car and breathed. Inside, Beauty slid down the corridor wall until she was sitting on the floor. A nurse crouched beside her and said nothing. There was nothing to see. Chidi's brother collected him, listened for 2 hours while Chidi talked in a flat monotone about DNA and a driver named Daniel and 7 years of marriage built entirely on sand. Brother, Mama needs to know. He stared at his mother's contact, then called. He did not finish 2 sentences before Mama Chidi said, "Come home right now." Not, "I told you so," not, "I warned you," just, "Come home." And that simple thing broke Chidi Eze completely open. He wept on his brother's couch, ugly, heaving, uncontrolled. A man who built his whole identity on precision coming apart at every seam. They drove to the village the next morning. Mama Chidi was at the gate. She took her son's face in both weathered hands. No triumph, no vindication, only a mother's pain absorbing her child's pain. "My son," she said. Just that. On the second day, she spoke. "Chidi, those children did not choose what happened. They know only your face as their father's face. Mama, I cannot even look at them right now. I know. I am not asking today. When you are ready, remember they exist." She said nothing about Beauty. Not one word. The silence around that name was louder than anything she could have said. Word travels in Enugu, fast and thoroughly. Within a week, the story moved from that corridor into sitting rooms, church pews, WhatsApp groups. Beauty Okoro. 3 children. Not one of them her husband's. Her church group stopped calling. Invitations ceased. Her own mother came and wept from shame more than sympathy. "Beauty, how could you? After that good man." She left after 2 days. Daniel surfaced claiming parental rights. Beauty called a lawyer. Chidi returned from the village after 3 weeks to a serviced apartment on Independence Layout. He began divorce proceedings, but visited the children that first Saturday, standing at his own gate, ringing the bell like a visitor. Tobechuku opened it. "Daddy, you came back." He took all 3 to their favorite restaurant, listened to Adeze's school stories, helped Emeka finish a drawing at the table. These children were his. Every school run, every fever, every bedtime prayer, that was his. Biology was Daniel's problem. He made that decision watching them eat ice cream, and it settled in him with quiet certainty. His decision about the children changed nothing about his decision about Beauty. Chidi was precise enough to keep those 2 things completely separate. They met once in Mrs. Mwosu's office. Beauty spoke about loneliness, neglect, feeling invisible while he built his career. Chidi listened. Then, "Some of what you say is true. I was not present enough. But answer me honestly. If I had come home early every day, made you feel completely seen, would you still have done it?" Silence. She looked at the desk, her hands, the wall. She could not answer. "I thought so," Chidi said quietly. "I will see the children Saturday." He left. Ngozi came unannounced one evening. I knew, not everything, but enough. I said nothing because I was afraid of losing your friendship. I'm going to call Chidi and tell him that. Beauty looked at her for a long time. "You should. You are right. I spent 7 years making everything about what I wanted. The least I can do is stop expecting everyone to protect me from my own consequences." It was the first genuinely unselfish thing Beauty Okoro had said in a long time. 6 months later, Daniel filed for parental rights. Chidi said 5 words to his lawyer: "Fight it. every single step. Daniel had no comparable resources, no stable home, no history of presence. He had biology. That was all. The court ruled. Children stayed with their mother. Chidi retained full visiting rights. Daniel received supervised visitation, twice monthly, 2 hours with conditions. Daniel sat outside that courtroom with his head in his hands. He had wanted rights without responsibility, fatherhood without the years of showing up fatherhood requires. The game always ends, and the bill always arrives. 2 years passed. Beauty returned to accounting at a solid company. She attended counseling for 18 months. She wrote Chidi a letter, handwritten, 4 pages. She asked for nothing, just told the truth about herself without excuse for the first time. Chidi read it alone, folded it, put it in a drawer, did not respond but did not throw it away. Chidi rebuilt, promoted again. Every Saturday without exception, he showed up at that gate and rang the bell. He met Sochima, a quiet architect, and told her his complete story on the 3rd meeting. He had learned the cost of foundations built on incomplete information. Sochima listened, then said, "Thank you for telling me." That took courage. And Tubechukwu, 9 years old, asked the question one Saturday while doing a puzzle on Chidi's apartment floor. "Daddy, people at school say you are not our real daddy." Chidi put his book down. "Who taught you to ride your bicycle, Tobi?" "You." "Who sat with you when you had malaria?" "You." "Who shouted so loud at prize-giving day the teacher asked me to calm down?" A small smile. "You. You embarrassed me." "Who do you call when you are scared?" "You, Daddy." "Then what do you think real means?" The boy thought seriously, the way children do when they sense a question actually matters. "It means the person who is there," Tobechukwu said. Chidi nodded. "Yes, that is exactly what it means." He picked up his book. Tobi went back to his puzzle. Everything had been said. Moral lesson. Loneliness inside a marriage is real, but betrayal is never the cure. The heart that seeks warmth in the wrong fire burns everyone who trusted it, including the innocent children who never chose to be caught in the flames. And the truth you bury deepest always finds the most devastating way to surface. If this story touched you, share it with someone right now. Drop a comment and tell me, who do you blame more, Beauty or Chidi? And if you are new here, subscribe and turn on your notification bell. We drop new stories